Hi, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Tea Time Tuesday. I am excited to be here. We are excited to be here with all of you. I know you're joining us over there on YouTube. Hello, everybody, and hello again to our Tea Time community. Welcome to Tuesday. All right. Just thankful to be here. Good afternoon. Monique, one moment. Excuse
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. Oh boy, excuse me for that. I was trying to hold it, but it could not can hold it. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome again. Hello, good afternoon, Executive Director Patrick. Good afternoon to you. Hey, Nita, how are you? Good afternoon, and welcome to Tea Time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Patrick. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we are just thankful to be here this afternoon. It's a beautiful day over here in Atlanta. How's it over there in Charlotte?
Oh, it's nice. It's nice.
Nice. Yes. We have been waiting for these days, and I
I
said,
know.
Carmela, I am excited to see all the blooming and everything that's going to take place, the flowers, the trees. Only thing is I know my allergies are it's getting ready to, really happen. So, but I'm thankful for this time and season as it comes. All right. So as we go into our tea time this afternoon, again, make sure to like and share, like our broadcast, invite people to like our YouTube channel,
Mhm.
join us over on YouTube. And now we're going to be on YouTube, not Facebook. Want to make that quick announcement. We'll be on YouTube, so you'll be able to view us on YouTube, and you'll be able to go back and watch any of our. Good afternoon, Tina. Be able to watch any of our previous broadcasts, or if you want to rewatch one, that you'll have the opportunity to do so over on YouTube. So welcome to Tea Time Pause, Reset, and Building Resilience. And as we know, we have our observances that we go into. And as you see, grab your tea and grab your tea time journal. And this month, we are celebrating National Women's History Month. And we are honoring, yes, we are honoring the contributions and accomplishments of women throughout history. And so we are celebrating this. So happy Women's History Month to everyone out there, honoring your contributions and your accomplishments. We say that from the Renewal Center. So we are honoring that this month. All right. And so let's see about the tea of the week as well. The tea of the week. All right. And what is our tea of the week? It is cherry rose tea. All right. Now, cherry rose tea is a blend of cherries, peach, pineapple, raisins, blueberry, and rose petals. Okay.
Mm.
And it has a natural flavor. It's tart and fruity. And it's a floral tea that is basically it's a great delight. I've had it before. It's a delightful tea. And it's full of antioxidants and vitamin C, and it's a great tea to have. So if you're looking for antioxidants and continue to build up your vitamin C, you can add this to your tea collection, which is cherry rose tea. All right, kind of a cherry
Mm.
sweet but tart taste. Has anyone out there had cherry rose tea?
It's good.
All right. Well, this is your opportunity to try that.
That sounds like a good combination to me. Rose and cherry.
Yes, yes. Have had it one time. And speaking of teas, what are you guys having this afternoon? What's your tea of choice? What are you having tea? Are you having water? Some may even be having coffee. So, or a different type of drink. You may be juicing. Share with us what you're having this morning and chime in. All right. What is your drink of choice today here on Tea Time? We know we always share that in our Tea Time community.
Mhm,
But what's your
mhm.
tea of choice?
Mm.
All right. So as you're putting your tea of choice in, we know that at the Renewal Center, our Tea Time community, and those who are joining us, we want to, for the first time, welcome to Tea Time. Welcome to our Tea Time community. And what we do at this particular time is Tea Time is all about pause, reset, and building resilience. This is our time that we take to actually pause. We take time
Mm.
to pause and locate ourselves. And this is a moment where we pause what we're doing, take time to just breathe in and out, allow ourselves to just begin to just relax a bit as we have been dealing with the issues of the morning. And so this time we're going to go ahead and locate ourselves. Water with lemon. All right. Electrolyte. All right. Lemon water. Great. All right.
Seems
We're
oh,
going to take this time to actually locate ourselves. Good afternoon, Michelle.
it's coming.
All right. Yes. All right. That was absolutely a phenomenal locate yourself. Did you see that scenery? Oh my goodness. That is absolutely beautiful and relaxing and right up my alley. Good afternoon, everybody. Make sure that you have your tea time journals. I see you having water, Nichelle. Okay. All right. And good afternoon, Alicia. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us on Tea Time. Make sure you guys have your journals out and get ready for our Tea Time session. Carmela is going to lead us this afternoon, and we're just prepared, and I'm ready for Tea Time this afternoon. All right, Carmela, so I'm going to turn it over to you. Happy Tuesday to you.
Thank you. Happy Tuesday to you, Hope. And I'm telling you, that introduction today, we're all excited and ready. And you know what? I'm excited because it's so sunny out here. And I'm like, I'm going to take advantage of this day today. I hope you guys are doing all right out there. As Hope says, like and share and subscribe and grab your tea and your tea time journals. Because today we're going to, it's not springtime yet, but you know what? That video is getting us closer to spring.
I'm ready.
I'm ready too. I am ready. And tea timers out there, go ahead and put in the chat, reset it. Go ahead and put in the chat, reset it, because we're going to talk about resetting today in a different way. I know you guys may have already seen the flyer and what we're going to be talking about today. Well, today we're going to be talking about pulling out all of the stops. Have you ever heard that idiom? Have you guys ever heard that phrase, pulling out all of the stops? We're going to talk about resetting it today and to maximize the resourcefulness and to be more energetic and being more resourceful. Yes, I see all of the chats coming in with reset it. Yes, reset it. Because you know what? It's almost time. Spring is almost here, right? And reset is part of, as we say, executive director Sharon right here, is part of our tenets for Tea Time Tuesday, reset. And as we got 9 more days. We have 9 more days to springtime. And we're excited about that. March the 20th is spring day. It sets the day for spring. And so today we're going to talk about taking the time to pull all of the stops. Now, I don't know if you all have ever heard of that phrase, but I have many times. Have you heard of that phrase before, Hope?
I have heard of that, yes.
Mm-hmm. And, when we talk about pulling out all the stops, we're talking about we want to be more I want to say let's just go ahead and just let me put the definition up so we can talk about what that means.
Okay.
To make every possible effort to use all available resources, to do everything possible in order to do or achieve something. And so let's think about that again, pulling out all the stops. When we're going somewhere, let's say we're going to have us something at our home, or we're going to have an event, and we say we're going to pull out all the stops. We're going to make sure we go all in and make sure everything is decorated nice, that everything is on time, that we have the finest of the finest stuff, that we have everything ready for our event. And so when we're talking about pulling out all the stops now, that means we're going to make sure we do everything within our effort to go beyond what our expectation is about doing something. And so what I'd like for us to think about is we want to become more resourceful with what we have. I'm going to put this back up here again. We want to maximize our resourcefulness, and we want to reset it. And so you're like, where are we going with this for Tea Time Tuesday today? But you know what? If we think about the word reserve, many of us, if we think about our house, so I'd like everybody right now to think about your office, think about your house, think about what you've been doing over the last 5-10 years. I want you to think about all of the items, I'm using this as an example, in your home that's sitting in your closet, sitting in your garage, sitting in the back of your closet. And I don't want to sound like this, but sitting under your bed, sitting in the trunk. Different places that we stash things, right? I see a remark coming. I just want to make sure I put it. Okay, thank you, Alicia. Yes, reset it. Many of us were thinking about this in mind. Springtime is here. We always get into this mode of I'm ready to do spring cleaning. I'm ready to clean out. I'm ready to do things. I'm ready to declutter and all of that. And we've covered decluttering and all of those things through Tea Time Tuesday many times about getting our space cleared. Before we get to springtime, what about the things that we have in our home or in our spaces or what we have gone through with that's called resources that's just lying dormant? How many of you guys got some stuff stashed in that junk closet? How many of you guys got some stuff stashed under the bed or in the trunk or in the garage? I'll be the first one. My garage it needs a little help. But because it's not junky, it's just that there are things there that's kind of just put away that I may use later. And so where are we going with this? Resetting it is going to imply that we're going to start anew with something. We're going to make some adjustments, and then we're going to learn some things in a new or use it in a new or different way. And then reset also means to put something back in its original setting. So before I go any further, Hope, you want to jump in at all right now?
Oh no, this is good. My mind is just going, and I'm thinking about what you're saying. So I'm just going to allow you to continue to go, continue to flow as my mind is kind of thinking
Okay.
about what you're saying. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Tea Time community, I want you to take note of some things that we're going to talk about today, because actually I believe it will help us set course of the next couple of weeks that are coming. Hope is going to come next week with her renewal practices, and we're going to keep moving right into springtime. So we're getting prepared, right? So before we jump all the way into spring, I want you to take a mental note of some of the things that you may have stashed away in different places. But what we want to do is to identify how to make use of those things efficiently. Because sometimes we'll have things stockpiled, or we may buy 2 or 3 of the same thing and we put it up, and then it's just sitting there. Oh, I'm buying this because I'm going to probably use it in 3 or 4 months, just in case, right? We got that just in case closet, just in case I need it. But one of the things I want to bring light to is that there is a saying, and I've used it at Tea Time Tuesday before, from author Ash, and I want to share this with us. Take a mental note of this phrase, and I want you to think about some of the items that are in your home, in your office, maybe some things that you've done over time that you've kind of put in the back, on the back burner. Here it is. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Start where you are, use what you have, and then do what you can. In other words, reset it. Now, I know we've used that quote before in another Tea Time Tuesday, but this is about being intentional, about being more efficient about the stuff that we already have. Stuff takes up space. It takes up mental space. It takes up a lot of it. It just takes up stuff. How many of you guys have walked into a room and it's just so distracting because you got all of these things that's just there? And some of these things, they don't really serve the immediate purpose. And so I'm going to say that before we actually do a lot of spring cleaning, which we probably will do, what about taking the initiative to pull all the stops, to go all out on maximizing the stuff that we already have in our space? And so I'm going to go somewhere with this. I want you to follow along. We want to make every possibility that we can to use our available resources, to use what we have around us. Okay, let's take some tools to consider. Hope, have you thought about some of the items that you might have stashed away that you could possibly reuse again, or look at pulling out to try to use before it just stays there and collect more dust?
Yes.
Okay. You don't have to say.
Yes.
Got some stuff in mind already?
It's already there, and actually, I started a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. See,
Mm-hmm.
Hope is ahead of the game. And see, Hope, what is the significance to you of taking the stuff that you may have stashed away and bringing them out? What is the advantage do you think of doing that? Taking it out, looking at it. What would you do if you were to actually go and start retrieving some of the stuff?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see what I don't need.
There we go. Mm-hmm.
And for me, sometimes I'll say, like, I collect certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what I had to do, because this has been what you're talking about, that's why it's been a journey for me, because sometimes I have the attachment to the attachment issue, but now it's been more, I'm not going to use that, because you'll tell yourself, oh, I'm going to need that, and I might
Mm-hmm.
need that later. And then you realize, I'm not going to need this. So I'm just going to go ahead and discard it. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been like going in the closet, discarding things, discarding clothing. And the thing about it is, Carmela, is that I realize I'm not going to wear this anymore, because I don't, it's too big, or I can't, So why do I have it sitting here?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have been really, really intentional about letting things go,
I like
because
that.
I tell myself, like you said, I might need this. And what if I
Mm-hmm.
throw it away and then I need,
And you want it.
So now my mind is
Right.
like, just you're not using it. And then what I
Mm-hmm.
do is I give myself a time that, if you haven't used this in 6 months or a year, you're not gonna use this.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's the self-talk.
Oh no, that's good, because then that's how we look at things to see, does this even fit anymore? Does this work anymore? And I like how we're looking at it in two angles. You're looking at to declutter to see what's working now. But then on the other end, the reason why we purchase these things or receive these things is because they had some kind of value to it, right? And so
Yes.
with that being said, before we chuck it out or toss it out or get rid of it, there may be some value there to some things that we can look at it again or use again, and not just the tangible things, but we're going to talk about some of the other things. We got some remarks coming in because we're talking about some stuff that we won't get rid of, but let's see, somebody's coming in. Tina's saying, that's huge, being attached to things that, as Hope was
Mhm.
saying, there may be some things that you're attached to, and look at the value. And while we're talking about being attached to something or seeing something that, okay, it's just because, and it's there because, I have some type of sentimental value to it.
Yes.
We can look for opportunity to take these things and not just refurbish. I'm not talking about just items, but look at the value of things and how you can use it more, be more resourceful in what you have, so that it's not stockpiling. And so you're like, well, what is Carmela talking about today? And I want to share this with us. If we could put this in our journal and just kind of roll this around.
Mhm.
Maximize what you have through revisiting it again. So I want to ask everybody a question. What tangible resources do you have that's been lying dormant? It could be any type of resource. How can you make it more resourceful? And so you're saying, well, how does this relate to Tea Time Tuesday? It relates to resetting ourselves. And sometimes we can find value in a lot of the things that we already have had or we've learned. And so today, take a moment in your Tea Time journal and think about, how am I going to be more resourceful with what I already have? So we're going to be talking about shortly, well, what does that mean, what I already have? So I have a remark coming in. Yes, Hope. Hope matters. Reset it. Take the time to reset your mindset, reset how you feel about the item, and also reset the item, reset the spaces that you're in, reset all of these things. So let's go. We're going to jump into it. Okay, here we are, Hope. We're talking about resetting it. How do we do it? Would you like to read the top of that for us?
Sure, reset it. Look for opportunities to relearn, go beyond what you already know, review, assess.
Yes. Okay, so we
Mhm.
see the lady in her hand. She's pulling down the library books. Okay, I would like for you guys to just think about that. We had the opportunity to talk about what we have stashed away in our closets, all of that. But then what's in the open? Uh,
Mm.
Look for opportunities to relearn again. How many of you guys, with a show of hands, have a library at home? You have a lot of different books, a lot of different reading materials, things like that, that you can relearn. You can open up that book. I'm going to say this. There are several books that I have that I love looking at. And they just sit around, and sometimes I end up putting them out. And these are books that talk about, like, what do you call it? The the places, the Grand Canyons and the pyramids and all the great places, and and all these different type of table books and art pictures inside of them. We got these things for a reason. We got them because of the value of learning. And if you take the time to look at your learning materials, go to your library at home, go to where you have your books, pull out your reading materials or any tangible item that you can relearn again, that you can use again. That there's a lot of value sitting in our closets. There are a lot of value sitting in our boxes that we've boxed away. Before we get rid of them, take a moment to see, what can I learn from that again? How can I relearn? And then also, what are some practices? I'm gonna shut some things down here, and I'll come back to it in just a minute. What are some practices that we can use again? Thank you, Tina. Yes. And here's Patrick. He's saying finger red #1. Finger red #1. Patrick, explain that to me, what that is. Okay. And I see that. Yes, a show of hands. Okay. That's a show of hands. Okay, I get that. Okay. Take a minute and just think about all of the reading materials that you have. It's not a matter of holding on to things, but it's a matter of relearning some of the things. What are some practices that we've learned at Tea Time Tuesday or elsewhere? Maybe you've attended some conferences, some trainings, and you have some manuals that you learned from, that you just kind of put away. But if you start thinking about, I have all of these resources sitting at home, and I could reuse these, I can reteach these, I could share these with others. Maybe there's a season in my life right now that I can use some of these principles that I learned 3 years ago that's just been sitting in my notebooks. So see, there's value in some of the things that we just have sitting around. What about some processes that you learned? Could it be that you learned some processes on how to do things a certain way? Maybe there's some things that you can relearn again, go back through them, walk back through these processes to see, how does this apply to me in where I am in my life now? Maybe perhaps you might revisit this for team meetings, or maybe a process of your goal setting. What can you use again? How about your applications? Tea Time community, I see someone is coming in with a remark. Hope, would you like to read Nichelle's?
Sure. I pulled out 2 books over the weekend to reread, to relearn, or retrieve something new I didn't grasp prior.
And there it is. There it is. Thank you for sharing that, Nichelle, because just because we've closed the books, we've closed the magazines, we've closed out a lot of the other things that we've used, we've put them away, doesn't mean there's not value there, because sometimes we've missed some things. Okay, so I want you to think about this. Here's another thing. I didn't put it on the slide, but what about shopping in your own house? How many of you go shopping in your own closet? I do. Do you shop in your own closet, Hope?
Yes.
Can you tell me what that means, shop in your own closet?
Well, what I do is I take advantage of what I've already have in my closet. So for me, I reshop by going, I have to go through each and every single thing in the closet to actually see what I already have. Instead of going out and purchasing something new,
right?
I see what I already have. Maybe I haven't worn it in a while. Maybe I forgot it was there. So I have to go in and kind of reassess and look through everything and say, oh, here, I remember this, and go ahead and shop it and make a value what I have already. Value that I already have currently in the closet.
Right. And I like how you pull that out, because there's value already what you had. It doesn't necessarily mean, oh, it's old. And we all go through that, gonna get a new spruce up or makeover phase, and we don't need that stuff anymore. But really, I have created, I don't know how many outfits I've created out of just re-shopping in my own closet.
Yes.
And I know you guys are saying, what does this have to do with Tea Time? Because there's value in relearning and restructuring. I've created new outfits, new everything. I've created new, because we both are content creators. I've created new content based off of what I've had already. Learning materials out of what I've taught before, processes that I've learned. 10 years ago, I went back through my journals. I went back through a lot of my notebooks and training classes, and I've started incorporating that into new areas. So there's value there. Like Hope was saying, it's not more or less, even if you have to go through them, pull out some tangible things, shop in your house. Now, here we go. You can reset through restructuring. Maybe it's time to, you don't necessarily have to go out and buy all brand new stuff, but you can shop in your own house in those spaces and create something new. You can make your space refreshed. You can make your space look, you're like, oh, I didn't even know that I could restructure and make my space look like this based off what I already had. And so we take the time here again. Hope, jump in at any time. Look for the opportunities to relearn. Something that Nichelle just said, she found some new facts. She found some revelation and some new highlights just by reading the books that she already had, just by going back through some of the things that she already has in her library. We can relearn through our materials that we already have. Hope, jump right in at any point in time.
Oh yeah, I think that's great. And just to piggyback off of what you said about, shopping in your own closet, you can take, one outfit you may have worn one way and then change it up and create two other outfits. And I'm using that because all it is a change of perspective and a change in the eye of your lens of how you're seeing something. So you may see something different that you can do with what you currently have that you didn't do before.
Right.
And so the idea to say, I can refurbish this, I can refresh this. If I add a belt, or maybe if I wear it with a different color, or a different pair of earrings or whatever, I'm just saying that I can give a different perspective and different look to what I already have.
Right.
So it's like a relearning of the trained eye to relearn, to grasp something new, what you already have, and maximize and I've heard you use that word maximize what you already have. Instead of going out and maybe getting something new, you can maximize what you have and receive something new from something you already have.
Right. Thank you. I like that. I like how you said that. And that makes a difference when she's like saying refurbishing, as Hope was saying, refurbishing. That's just the same thing as going back to recharge, to reignite the things, to find the value. And how can I add this with this? And how can I bring more value to it by maximizing? Because it's all about efficiency. Here at Tea Time Tuesday, when we're talking about reset, when we're resetting some things, it's about being more resourceful and efficient with what we already have. And that doesn't actually mean with the tangible things, but it means with the intangible things you can't really put your finger on, like models, principles, processes, and practices. I know a lot of us have had journals oh my gosh, I don't know how many journals and notebooks I have full with practices.
Yes.
Full with different things that we could, tools and tips that we can use. And sometimes just going to those places and retrieving them and relearning them, you'll be able not to only relearn them, but regurgitate and teach other people or share it in some other aspect. I see a remark coming in. Oh, Nichelle, she has several remarks. Would you like to read Nichelle's?
She said, did that this weekend. Also, I wanted something new and had the thought to see what I have that's suitable.
Yes.
I'm all about maximizing.
Yeah. It's about maximizing. It's about enlarging what you have already. Accentuating those things, relearning and reviewing. Here's Alicia. Alicia's saying, I do, and my girls do too. Shopping in my own closet at home is unfortunately the norm. I guess I have resources. Yeah. And if you look at it more or less, it could be a benefit, but you're finding value in what you may have already, and to look at how to expand what you have. So it could be the tangible things, but also the other things that we cannot actually see, but it could be practices and all these things. So I'm going to just kind of go back to what we were saying when we first started. It's about pulling all the stops, and that means going all beyond and being more resourceful to resetting things. We know spring is coming. We're going to be having these moments we want to get rid of some things, but
Mm-hmm.
also there's so many things in valuing as we not only just look at things, but we take the time to review and assess what we have to go beyond the knowledge that we have. There's so much more to learn in some of the books that we have. There's so much more to learn in some of the materials and the processes and applications that we have learned over time. So not only that are we going to reset it this way, but how about this way?
Mm.
Look for opportunities to build and plant. So go beyond what you already have. Hope you want to read the rest of that.
Sure. Revamp, add on, reconstruct, improve.
Mm-hmm.
Refresh old spaces, create new spaces, build upon what's already there, continue a task, cultivate a new place.
Thank you. Resetting is all of these things. It's revamping. So, we just got through talking about what? Relearning by assessing and reviewing what we have. But now we're going to revamp or add on and reconstruct or improve. So, there may be a piece of backyard that you have. There it is. Maybe you can cultivate a garden there. There's some things that you can do with your hands. Just think about some of the areas that you have in your office space, in your home. Are there places that you can refresh these spaces, these places that you're in by revamping? That's resetting. Um, Building upon what you already have there in that particular space, or you want to continue on a task or cultivate a new place that you're at. Think about where you are. There's value where you are. There's value with the space that you're in. You can do some revamping now. You can think about, oh, how can I add on to what I already have? So I may already be having a collection of something. Well, let's add on to that with what I already have. Let's expand the space that I'm in to create the environment, something new. Sometimes you never know. I'm the first one to say this. When I take the time to reconstruct a room or redecorate a room or whatever it may be, it's amazing when you take everything down and go look around and see what you already have and move things around.
Mm-hmm.
So even in a natural sense of reconstructing, what about reconstructing the ideas that you have? Reconstructing some of the applications that you can bring to new spaces and places.
Mm-hmm.
All ways of being more resourceful, and it may not ignite now, but maybe down the road as you start spring cleaning, you may start thinking, well, what can I do now with what I already have? I have a lot of knowledge and expertise in certain things. Let me create something out of that. So think about that. You may have knowledge. Maybe you want to develop a course or develop some new practical thing that can be done, or sharing a new training or something. Not more or less having to start from the bottom, but you may already have knowledge of how to implement these things. Hope, please, if you want to share something, go right ahead.
Oh no, I'm just listening. I agree. I definitely agree with you. Um, uh, Michelle says reconstructing ideas. I like that. Absolutely. Just I think that there's good that we need to take the time to reconstruct some ideas, have a fresh perspective to give us, just a fresh new look. It can be something simple as, maybe your office space. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I know that sounds little, but for me, office space is important because I work from home. So I like to reconstruct what I have, add something new, maybe take something away.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to do that. And like you were saying, even about the garden, that's not only, maximizing the space, but it's taking on a new task as well.
Yes,
Taking on a
yes.
task to tend to some fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, whatever you feel led to plant. Maybe you want to plant some herbs or some spices that you use to cook with, whatever it may be, and it be a new task. And what does that do when you plant that garden? It brings some freshness to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
If you have herbs and spices, you have access to it. That changes the whole dynamic and it
Yes.
changes the perspective as well.
Yes. And Hope, it's really interesting that you share that, because my mind was going in this direction of what you were saying, not just the not just the gardening per se, but what about these cookbooks? What about these apps that we have? What about these things that we're learn how to cook something new, learn how to use what you already have. I know one thing, I got recipe books lined up in the kitchen. When is the last time I opened that up instead of going out to eat and making something? Learning something from the value of what I spent money on, and so this makes such a big difference in taking time to cultivate. As Hope was saying, we are seeing now more say of different hobbies that we're coming into, healthfully, right? Was that the right word? Being more healthful by creating our own gardens on our porches or our balconies or things like that. You can take the time to create a space, to learn some new things, to revamp. Just by taking the time to do those things will make a big difference about learning, about being more resourceful with what we already have. Some of us may have some pots and stuff like that. We can get some seeds, and there we go. Doesn't mean we have a green thumb, but it's talking about just being resourceful even more now. So, as we are in our everyday living. And so this applies to Tea Time Tuesday, because as we pause, set, and build resilience, we take the time to revamp some of the things by pulling all the stops. Go beyond where we are to learn. Go beyond what we already have and to revamp it and to maximize those things because they have value. Seeds in the drawer. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that we have sitting in the drawers. Some of us have a lot of things that we started. Maybe you want to pick it up and start it again and start revamping those things because they make a difference, because they already add value to who we are and what we are. I see a remark coming in. Here's Monique. Monique is coming. Hi, Monique. She's saying refurbishing my space for different seasons, refresh my perspective on the different areas of my home and office. Absolutely. Absolutely. All it takes is just taking a moment to just go and let's say, I'm going to use what I have and maybe move some things around. And that's a part of decluttering, but you're still honoring the things that have value that's just sitting there dormant. And so we want to revitalize our spaces by seeing what may be adding value to what you already have. Okay, Patrick is sharing something.
Regarding reading, don't just share content and get information. Um, I'm sorry, trying to pronounce it.
Annotated.
And annotated. I'm sorry. Provide context, as to thought-provoking questions, and stimulate deeper engagement.
I like that, because what Patrick is saying is go beyond the scope of what's on the pages. Go back and not just read it, but take the time more so now, not just reading and sharing, but to annotate, to document, to underline, to process it, and then provide context about what you're reading. I know that's something that Patrick does with us on Tea Time Tuesday quite often. He's taken Hope's book, my book, and several other books, and he has helped us to extract more meaning out what we actually wrote. And so that's already being resourceful with some of the writings that we've had. So it goes back to what we were saying earlier about taking the time. Let me get Patrick's remark off of here to look at some of the learning materials and the principles and some of the things and applications that we already had, and to bring it into context, because it has more meaning. And so I really appreciate you saying that, Patrick, because it goes beyond the library that we have sitting in our houses, or all of the magazines and reading materials we have stashed in boxes or in our bins or even in baskets. Yeah. We want to make use of those things. Hope, I see you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, I was thinking when you said baskets and things that we have stored up, I have to remind myself, hey, take a look inside and see what's there. And then I go in, I'm like, oh yeah, like I forgot that I put this here. That's why I try my best to keep down on any type of clutter. I don't like it, because for me, I forget. Sometimes I need to see what's there. in
Right.
order to truly value what I have. Sometimes if it's
Is the
just
word.
hidden, I can't see it. And so I can't value it unless I have to look through something and say, oh, I remember this. So sometimes I take a look in that in my library and look at the books again and see
Mm-hmm.
what I can reread or see what I want. Oh, let me go back and look at that and see what I can gain, from that. So for me, I like to be able to see things. I don't like it too much tucked away because you can forget what you have.
Right.
So and then you're not able to maximize it the way you need to.
Yeah, thank you, Hope. I agree because out of sight is out of mind. I know I have all kind of stuff that I just I was doing some restructuring and I ended up going into the garage and I looked into a bin the other day that I hadn't visited in a while. I said, that's where I had all of those things. And that's what I needed for what I was that's what I needed. I said, oh my
Hmm.
gosh.
Hmm.
And then as I pulled it all out, it had new meaning. I was able to place it in different places around the house. And it's just brought, like as Monique has said, it brought such a refreshing and I enjoy looking at it. I enjoy it now more than I had before because I was able to see the value in it and to be more resourceful with it and to use it. And so it's not more or less us digging out stuff. It's more or less looking at it from an angle of being more resourceful and resetting things based off of the value of what we already have, whether it's tangible items or it's applications, processes, or things that we have learned. So I see a comment coming in here. Okay.
I appreciate your focus to go beyond what you know. Using words like I always and I never are indicators that you are stuck.
I like that because what Patrick is saying is becoming more teachable. And
Yeah.
I love that, because we're always able to learn. We're always able to extract. I don't know about you, even reading novels. Now I'm gonna say this because a novel, we already know the storyline. We already know. But
Yeah.
even with something like that type of genre of reading, when you pick it up again, you're going to see things you never saw before.
Hmm.
Even in nonfiction and other readings that we have, we know that how many of you guys have watched a movie? And I've seen this recently. I'm like, I didn't even see that. All these years I watched that movie, I just seen this.
Yeah, that can happen. That has happened to me.
Right.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's all about finding value in what's there, and being able to be open and being teachable to see new things, to see it in a new way, through a fresh lens. And that's what happens when we take the time to do this. We take the time to review and to assess. Review, go beyond what you already know. Look for opportunities to relearn. And that doesn't mean you always have to get something brand new. It just means looking at what we have to find value in it already. And so if there's any takeaway, you guys, please, if you can, Tea Time community, you guys been a little quiet today. You're probably thinking, deep thinking there. Put something in the chat that you could take away with you today as we are approaching spring, and we'll start getting into that decluttering, throw it out, chuck it out, get rid of it mode. But there's a lot of things that we have, practice wise, tangible and non-tangible, that we can actually use and reset, get ourselves resetted for for this new year, 2025 spring. This is a fresh new spring that we haven't seen before. So what can we do to revamp some things that we already are working on or have already learned? Hope you want to dive in with anything.
Oh no, I just want to add that this has been a phenomenal tea time. I think this is great timing because it's
Thank you.
preparing us to go into the spring. And so even as we're going into the spring time of the season, we're able to kind of evaluate what we already have before we try to get rid of it. And I'm not just speaking of just tangible items. I'm speaking just of our mindsets and just of how we view things and having different perspectives and understandings. And so just go back to our book, our libraries, going back and look and seeing what we can reread, even clothing, different perspectives. I like what you shared today, taking on a new task,
Yeah.
or completing a task that you may have started and didn't get quite a chance, to be able to finish. So I
Mhm.
think this has been a really good tea time, especially for the season that we're in.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hope, we got some takeaways coming in.
Okay.
Here's Michelle's. You want to take hers?
My personal takeaway: appreciate what I already have. It's still valuable.
Thank you. Thank you, Nichelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Here's Patrick. He's coming with his as well.
Takeaway: how do I make use of things efficiently? I
Yeah.
will also revisit what's in my attic.
Okay. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank
So
you,
you find
Patrick.
some good stuff in there.
Hmm.
Well, we definitely want to thank all of our Tea Time community today, and we thank you for joining us for Tea Time Tuesday. We just, are so excited about you joining us in this time of dialogue and just going through talking about how to use things more efficiently and how to reset things. And so thank you for joining us with that. And we got another takeaway coming in with Alicia. She's saying, take inventory, steward, use what you already possess. Oh, yeah. I like that. Stewardship. That's
Yes,
good.
stewardship. Hmm.
Yeah. Steward what you already have. That makes sense. Other
Yes.
than letting it just take dust over there. I know I'm guilty of the dust too. We all got some dusty somewhere, you know. So
Yeah.
take use and have
Hmm.
some stewardship over it. So thank you. We appreciate that. We're gonna close out our tea time session today, but this gives you an opportunity to join in with Tea Time and the Renewal Center as far as taking a moment to join in with sharing. If you would like to support the Renewal Center, Hope is going to take us into how you can support the Renewal Center and our announcements.
All right. So, if you would like to support the Renewal Center, the great vision of the Renewal Center, you may do so by one of our digital ways of giving. You can go to our website, or you can text the give as well right from your phone. We have PayPal, the Renewal Center 2020 at gmail.com. We have Cash App, tag Renewal Center. And we have Zelle, the Renewal Center 2020 at gmail.com, as well as Venmo at Renewal Center. And if you would like to mail a check or money order, you may do so with the information listed here for P.O. Box 1381, Concord, North Carolina 28026. If you would like to give, we invite you to join us in this time of giving. And we ask that you would just give and just be thankful for the opportunity to be able to give. The Renewal Center is a great place and a great ground to be able to give to continue to bring programming to you as well. All right. And so I seen, yes, the sixth prophetic gathering of the Renewal City 2020 to 2029, a decade of declaration and demonstration. This is going to be on April 4th through the 5th this year, and it's going to be there in Charlotte, North Carolina. We have a great lineup of facilitators and teachers who are ready to bring impact and change. We invite you, if you've never been to a prophetic gathering, this is the sixth one. We invite you to join us. Join us for the first time if you've never been before. We thank everybody who's returning to the sixth prophetic gathering. And it's going to be held virtually as well as on site. So if you can't make it and be on site, we have a virtual option for you as well. We are excited about this, thankful for 6 years of the prophetic gathering, and looking forward to more. Join us this year for the sixth prophetic gathering. Registration is still open. You have the opportunity, and invite somebody to join us. Invite someone to join us for this phenomenal gathering that's going to be impactful and empowering. All right, so we have our Reforming Culture series, which is going to be tomorrow. The Kingdom of God series, which is going to be tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. If you have never joined or you're interested in knowing more, join us tomorrow night for our Reforming Culture. Our series is the Kingdom of God. It has been a phenomenal teaching, impactful and intentionality that's been released in understanding God's kingdom. We ask you to join us. You can register on our website and on our different social media platforms for registration, and come and join us tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. All right. So for our New You Digital Discipleship with the Renewal Center team, join us on Sundays at 10 a.m. This is, I mean, we have phenomenal teaching that goes forth. If you don't have a place to fellowship, join us on Sundays at 10 a.m. for a time of the word and worship with the New You Digital Discipleship. We invite you to join us Sundays at 10 a.m. And if you want to know more information, we have our grief recovery program where we have our individual sessions, and soon to come will be our group sessions. So look out for that. If you know someone who could use grief recovery services, maybe yourself, contact us here at the Renewal Center to get more information for individual grief sessions. And just to give you more to help you navigate on the road of grief. So if you know anyone that could be useful to this service, please remember to share, and so that they can contact us to give more information. All right. All right. And that concludes our announcements.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We got some takeaways and that we'll close out on. And Tanya's coming and she's saying her personal takeaway. This conversation has inspired me. I'm in reset mode. Okay. Thank you, Tanya. And Monique is coming to us with her comments as well. You want to take Monique's?
Sure. This has been a great renewal practice. There are so many opportunities to dig deeper into the many spaces and skill sets we possess.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Monique. Yes, this is good. And then we'll close out with Nichelle. She's saying, thank you.
Oh,
Reset it. Have a wonderful day.
all right. Thank you, Nichelle. Yes.
Thank you. I tell you, we appreciate everyone being here with us today. We're closing out right at the top of the hour, almost at 1 o'clock. We hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. And then we'll see you again next week with our Tea Time Tuesday. And we hope that you guys are enjoying the Reset It applications today and that it is have some kind of value. So you guys have a great day, and we will see you guys on next Tea Time Tuesday. Remember, I am Renewal, and take care of each other.
Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day.